Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Journalism Module Podcast. If you're joining us from your open and distance learning setup, grab a seat and get comfortable. Today, we are looking at the craft of documentary filmmaking. Think back to a documentary you watched recently that gave you a real physical reaction. Maybe your heart started racing during a tense scene, or you felt a heavy sense of sadness during an interview. While we often credit the subject's words for that feeling, the spoken story is being supported by specific choices the filmmaker makes behind the camera. How the camera moves and how light hits the subject act as a guide for the viewer. These techniques provide the emotional context that helps the audience interpret the facts being presented. Mastering these visual tools allows you to be intentional with your reporting, ensuring the look of your film matches the importance of your subject's story. Let's start with our first tool, camera movement. The way a camera moves dictates the audience's physical relationship to the scene you are capturing. Picture a documentary covering a street protest. The filmmaker wades right into the middle of the action, holding the camera by hand. When the footage shakes and bounces with every footstep, your brain reacts as if you are actually standing in that pushing crowd. That unpolished motion triggers a sense of urgency and puts the viewer directly into the chaos. Now, look at the exact same location, but filmed using a smooth tracking shot, where the camera glides along a set of tracks or wheels. The environment is the same, but the emotional effect is entirely different. The smooth gliding movement creates a calm, reflective tone. We are no longer trapped in the action. We are observing the scene with distance and focus. Choosing between resting the camera on your shoulder or putting it on a set of wheels alters how the audience perceives the reality of your story. Our second critical storytelling tool is lighting. How we illuminate a scene controls the mood and how closely the audience connects with an interview subject. Imagine a documentary interview shot outdoors, right at noon, relying only on harsh, uncontrolled sunlight beating down from directly overhead. That harsh light casts deep, sharp shadows over the subject's eyes. It creates a gritty, stressful atmosphere that can make it difficult for a viewer to focus on what the person is saying. This diagram shows three-point lighting. First, a key light defines features. Next, a fill light on the opposite side lifts shadows, balancing the image. Finally, a backlight adds a subtle glow, separating the subject from the background, so the viewer's eye stays fixed. By controlling the light, you create a sense of intimacy and clarity. This visual environment encourages the audience to connect with the person sharing their story. When you bring specific camera movements and careful lighting techniques together, you multiply the emotional impact of a scene. Think about an interview where the subject takes a deep breath, preparing to share a personal or difficult memory. To support that moment, we compare the clear, soft feel of our three-point lighting setup with a very slow, deliberate zoom-in on the camera lens. In everyday life, when someone lowers their voice, you naturally lean in to hear them better. A slow, deliberate zoom mimics that physical action, signaling to the viewer that they should always pay close attention. When the balanced lighting and the forward motion work together, the filmmaker guides the audience's empathy toward the subject without needing to explain why the moment matters. In a controlled studio, you can spend hours perfecting every shadow, but documentary journalism happens in the real world, which is often unpredictable. Clouds move in, natural light shifts, and subjects move around. You have to be ready to make adjustments on the fly. These environmental changes are opportunities to apply what you know. How you reposition your camera or adjust your settings determines if your visual tone stays consistent with your story. To see this in action, try a simple exercise using your smartphone today. Ask a friend to talk about their day. Film them once while you are both walking outside, holding the phone in your hand. Then, film them again while they sit near a window, and you prop the phone up on a steady surface. Reviewing these two clips side by side helps you see how simple technical choices change the way an audience receives information. Comparing these results is the first step in using visuals to tell a more intentional story.